Guys, did you watch South Park? Do you hate Trump like we do? Well, this week on South Park, they decided what direction they're going to take the character of Trump. The last time, if you're a South Park watcher, the last time they had Mr. Garrison take on the role of like a Trump type. He still was Mr. Garrison. But then now they've really, and with the pattern of Trump's regimes, where his first one maybe could be handled by a parody version played by Mr. Garrison. Now they've just gone fully into it and leaned in, and they have pulled out their Saddam Hussein reference and basically just slapped, what's his name? Donald Trump's face on it. And you know what?
One of the faces they use is his mugshot, by the way.
Oh my God.
Because it's like maybe 5 or 6 faces that they use. Like you guys don't really do that. Now, there's a whole backstory here where they put out episodes weekly, so they're super current. So I guess during the election they had a whole Hillary character lined up, and then Trump
Kamala.
No, Hillary.
Oh, for the previous time.
Yeah, I think. Or maybe it was, I don't know what happened. Whatever happened is they weren't expecting Trump to win either time. So then they had to go with like, Mr. Garrison was running against whoever it was. And then they were like, fuck. He was representing Trump. So then they're like, now he has to become president. Okay, we'll go with that. But then all this shit happened. And then they were in talks. And then you're just kind of stuck with this. This is what happened on Saturday Night Live with Alec Baldwin. He was going to do just that series until Hillary won. And then they're like, well, now we're stuck with Baldwin in here every single week. But they were between seasons here. They were holding out to make a huge deal, which they did make. But the deal was struck like literally right when the Stephen Colbert thing happened.
For point of reference, if you have no idea, Paramount was about to go into mind you, Paramount probably runs YouTube. And so far we have had 3. This is now our 3rd time that I'm like, oh, we'll get demonetized because there's something here. But they were going to do a merger with another company. And in order to do a merger of companies, you have to get governmental approval. Okay. So they were really trying to get this government approval in order to do the merger. And since then, it has come out that the Trump regime has decided that there are certain things that CBS and those groups need to do. One of the initial things that came out was that Stephen Colbert's show was going to be canceled. Mind you, it is the highest rated in his time spot. And they cited money as the reason, costs. Now, it comes out later that, and as maybe you know, maybe you aren't aware, we're getting political on this episode. Sorry, y'all, if you come here for non-political stuff, but Trump has sued multiple, I'm going to just put allegedly in front of all this in case Trump tries to sue us here, but Trump has sued a bunch of journalists. He's basically doing what a certain dictator did back in the 30s, who Sydney Sweeney seems to love.
I love Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, he did sue Paramount and they settled, or CBS.
He sued a bunch of other companies too, and they've settled. And so in that, people believe that the reason they preemptively got rid of Colbert is because they were like, you know, Colbert talks about Trump in a truthful way. I'm not going to say it in a bad way because it's in a truthful way. Trump is bad. And so in that lead up, it was the time happening. They got their $1.5 billion deal, South Park did, with Paramount. And and still they were trying to get the other deal. The other deal hadn't fully, I think, sealed.
It was the contract to keep doing South Park and then the streaming rights at the same time.
So it's kind of like a timeline thing where I believe that it was the South Park's deal finalized, and the Paramount merger had not finalized yet, but they were already going to get their $1.5 billion no matter what. So I think in their mind, they were like, well, fuck it. I mean, it's come out now that they asked them in an interview where they were like, do you feel bad? Do you feel any kind of reaction? And they're like, we feel terribly sorry.
Do you know how badass this is, though? Because this is the people that can stand up to Trump and all of them is other billionaires.
Exactly.
So now it's just a big pissing contest, but they're so badass because Republicans like them too, like Trey and Matt. they're just everyone loves them. They're amazing. They're untouchable. And they're like, they slid in out of nowhere with this whole co-pair thing. And they're like, hey, guess what? We're gonna join this.
So what ends up really happening on the episode too is, and I really like this, is the way they frame it as Cartman has realized that woke is dead and he is anti-woke. So they could have framed it in separate ways, right? But they really framed it more like these poor, you poor conservatives, you can't be even if just being yourself now, you're just brilliant. You're not special because you have it was like empathizing with them in like a way where
there's a part where he's like, God, it's so funny. I love listening to NPR. It's all these fucking idiots. And then he's like, there's one part where it cuts. He's like finishing a thought, and he's like, yeah, and this woman was like, she got like raped and murdered. It was so funny. It's like a perfect kind of way to like.
But then he finds out during the episode that NPR got canceled, and he's like, wait, no, like. Fuck all this. Because woke is dead. Because of that, we can't make fun of my favorite show. And they're like, "What's your favorite show?" And it's like the NPR. It's so funny. So then they continue, and we find out that Trump has a relationship with Saddam Hussein's former lover, Satan. And this whole episode does really lean into what they know how to bother Trump, I'll be honest, is because they focused on him being a bad leader and like a cuck to Satan. Mm-hmm. And then the biggest thing is how tiny his penis is, because they showed it repeatedly. They show him again getting a painting done. A joke that I really liked is he goes into the room with Satan, and then he's like going up to an artist who is doing a painting of him. And it's realistic. And then it has like a teeny tiny penis showing. And he's like, hey guy, why is my penis so little or whatever? And he's like, it matches the photograph. It's just like photorealistic. And then he's like, I'm going to sue you. And just like the whole idea. And it really goes into what bullshit Trump is doing right now, which when I say it's bullshit, it's bullshit. All right. Watch us get like the FBI like knocking on our door.
The funniest thing here is that they're not even being witty by the end of the episode. They're just like, and the thing is that that behind the scenes Paramount was like, you can't air this. And obviously Trey and Matt have so much pull over there that they're like, not only are we airing the penis, we're airing all of this, you're also going to put it right up on streaming and you're not taking it off. It's not going to be deleted from the memory books.
See, I have to wonder then, Paramount has to be in on it in a bit, right? Well, a few days later, they did end up settling the merging thing, and CBS has agreed to allowing Trump to hire a bias cop, basically a person who's going to go in there and make sure there's no anti-Trump bias in any.
Well, I don't think it's going to work out well because obviously something happened in the deal that Trey and Matt cut where I guarantee you that they have full final say over everything.
They must, or else this wouldn't have happened. I did like, though, they ended it, and I think this might be a good place for us to end, but they ended it with something that, again, Trump, I'd like to call him toilet penis, because isn't that what they called him on Lady Watch?
That's what Cher used to call him in emojis on her Twitter account.
But then I think Lady Watch would call him.
Well, that's how we learned about it.
Okay, because of Cher.
They announced that Cher is on Twitter, and they're like, she's posting the most unhinged shit, and she would call him.
When she would just post like the ghost emoji.
Yeah, she would love the ghost with the eye patch emoji. It was so funny.
Anyway, this is deep shit here, guys. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can get all the hot.
Lady Watch.
I really like that they end the episode in this way where Trump is supposed to be, this Paramount, part of their merger thing is they are supposed to have money to do pro-Trump ads and stuff. Like they have to do pro-America and pro-Trump ads. And so the end of the episode ends with a pro-Trump ad. And it's like Trump. Now, mind you, this was made with AI too. And I hate AI, but I guess this is the only version.
I thought of you too. And I was like, I feel like John would even approve of this use for AI.
This is the only version.
By the way, before you describe it, I saw a TikTok saying that on that episode, it says Trump ad 1 of 24. So people are theorizing that they're going to have one of these in every single episode.
Oh,
wouldn't that be so good if they're like, no, we're writing out
that.
the whole season this way? And
what they really do is they continue their trolling of
how disgusting Trump is. He's walking in the desert and he
no,
I don't know what the ad is really saying.
Trolling, I honestly think they're kind of trolling Christians because they're parodying him as Jesus. They're like, he crossed the desert for you. He's suffered through all these things. And then it's like, he's done everything for you, Trump. And then he falls down on the ground. And I'm excited to see what happens on this. And I hope you guys are excited because it's the weekly roundup, babe. If you are only watching this episode, go watch our other pieces. Every Wednesday, we release 3 videos on YouTube, 3 separate sections, so you can dip in and dip out wherever you want, because that's how we like it over here. And every Friday, we're live for our live stream to cover, if you watch the shit show called And Just Like That, make sure you're checking that out. Also, we don't just talk about that too, so check out our lives anyway.
The last episode was actually good.
The last episode was actually good, so I'm assuming this next one will be terrible. Anyway, we love you guys so much.